Welcome back. Talking a bit of politics now. The Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has denied allegations by the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Tinubu, that he and some other high-profile defectors left the APC because they were denied automatic tickets and sharing of national wealth. Chief Tinubu had alleged that the defection of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, and Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal was born out of their desire to run for the highest office in the land. But the Senate President, in a statement signed by him today, insists that he suffered alienation and treated as an outsider in the APC, reiterating that he left the APC because the party ignored justice and equity, ingredients needed to sustain its membership. He said the national leader of the APC, Bola Tinubu, has been plotting to undermine him since he blocked his political ambition of becoming the vice president. The Senate President also revealed that Mr. Tinubu had told him of how much he dislikes President Buhari's style of governance. The statement went further to say, quote, "My uncertain and complex relationship with Tinubu has been continually defined by the event of 2014, when myself and other leaders of the APC opposed the Muslim-Muslim ticket arrangement about to be foisted on the APC for the 2015 polls." Now, staying with reactions to that letter, the Sokoto State Governor, Aminu Tambuwal, who reacted through a statement on the state government's Twitter handle, denies leaving the APC because of automatic tickets. Governor Tambuwal says his reasons for leaving the ruling party are on record. An automatic ticket is not one of them. He also accused the APC leader of using his own standard to judge other people, saying, quote, "Tinubu tried to rock the boat when he was denied Buhari's vice presidency. He thinks every other person would behave his way. If I wanted to contest under the APC as president, I could have done so, and only the vote could have produced a winner," end of quote. The reaction is coming less than 24 hours after the letter was made public. The Young Progressives Party is advocating the need for the National Assembly to cut short its recess and reconvene in order to pass the budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Now, while announcing plans by the party to conduct its first national convention, the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Comrade Egbeola, explains that delaying the passage of the budget of the electoral umpire may jeopardize the successful conduct of the 2019 general elections. The party also applauded the decision of INEC to extend the continuous voter registration exercise by 2 weeks, but appealed to the Commission to consider a further extension in order to enable more Nigerians register for the elections.
We also call on the NAS to apply meticulous speed in the consideration and approval of current INEC budget. In as much as we condemn the late presentation of this request, which has been a norm with the APC administration, the NAS should rise above petty blackmail by the executive by cutting short their recess, with the major consideration being national interest, to do justice to the INEC budget presently being attended to by the Joint Committee of the National Assembly on INEC. While we commend the 2 weeks extension given for the ongoing voters registration, it is obvious that the extension so given will hardly be sufficient to capture the teeming millions of Nigerians who are still eligible to be registered.
Well, that's all from Abuja. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Mark. The Kano state government says it's targeting to reach over 2 million people with its empowerment scheme by the end of 2018. And as part of the Ganduje Empowerment Initiative, some youth in the state have been given the sum of 20,000 naira each. The initiative also involves training in various skills that's expected to help them become self-reliant. Our correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Kano State in the northwest Nigeria is one of the most populous in the country. Consequently, government jobs, including the state civil service, are insufficient to accommodate the over 2 million unemployed youth across the state. Each of the 8,800 youth selected across the 44 local government areas of the state received 20,000 naira from Governor Abdullahi Ganduje.
We are doing all this because Mr. President Muhammad Buhari, he is ready, he is determined, he has started, to improve the economy of Nigeria. He has directed all state governors to undertake empowerment program in order to reduce poverty.
Besides the young males, the governor also presents 15,000 naira each to 6,600 women under the State Women Empowerment Program.
We have registered women right from their wards and local governments. We have registered women of different trades. All of them, they have been registered, and we have taken them sector by sector, and we provide appropriate and befitting empowerment so that they can improve their economic participation in the economic development of Kano State.
Youth empowerment is considered the second alternative in economic recovery efforts after agriculture.
We have trained and retrained about 300,000, which is about 1 million. Our target actually is 3 million between now, God willing, to the end of the first tenure of His Excellency.
So we are committed and we are determined and we are following the footsteps of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari on making sure that youth are engaged for better.
To whom much is given, much is expected, while the beneficiaries are expected to use the governor's gift to improve their welfare. He in turn may also be counting on their support at the forthcoming polls as he seeks another term in office. Idris Jubrin, Channels Television News.
Members of the Association of Landlords and Shop Owners in Osun State are calling on the state government to pay them compensation for their shops and houses which were demolished to pave way for infrastructure development in the state. The landowners say they've been owed payment since 2014, but the state government says the money will be paid when funds are available.
In 2014, the Osun State government commenced the demolition of buildings in Osogbo, the state capital, to give way for modernized infrastructure and the city's beautification project. The state government reached an agreement with the landlords of the demolished shops and houses that a fee of about 2 billion naira will be given to them as compensation for the loss of their property and means of livelihood. 4 years on, the residents say they haven't been paid and life has become very difficult for them.
We are begging them to give us compensation. He promised us first time that he's going to give us our compensation. Second time, he promised us. Third time, he promised us. Now, our people, they are annoyed now because many of us have died on this matter. Many of people, they are in the hospital, in this hospital. We see many people, they have stroke because they have no any other place to eat.
I will plead in the name of the law with government, Aregbesola, to remember that this life is once. People has died to consider us, to pay us for our compensation as the way they did to others.
Several protests have been made by the landlords to the Government House and State House of Assembly, calling on the government to fulfill their end of the bargain.
The recession the country went into that affected all the 36 states and all government agencies and parastatals made it practically impossible to have sufficient funds to run government, not to talk of paying compensation. Therefore, it wasn't a deliberate attempt that the compensation has not been paid, and I'm sure that any time government has money sufficient to take care of things, including the payment of the compensation, it will be so done.
Clearly, there is need for an amicable settlement to this crisis, especially as the state will soon witness a change of guard.
All right, let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Anne Waudu.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma, and welcome to Business News. President Muhammadu Buhari today signed the instrument of accession to the 2010 International Cocoa Agreement. And this follows approval by the Federal Executive Council for Nigeria to accede to that agreement. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says this agreement is expected to strengthen cooperation between cocoa exporting and importing member countries, as well as improve their economies. He says the 2010 agreement is expected to build on the successes of the 2001 agreement by implementing measures to increase the income of cocoa farmers. Green innovation in Africa is far from hitting the targets of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and requires more investment to attain an appreciable height. At a forum of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, the General Manager of the National Environment Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, Dr. Lawrence Anukam, explains the need to tackle the problem of growing electronic waste. The head of Nigeria's Bureau of Statistics, Mr. Yemi Kale, says the country's economy has remained on the path to growth in the second quarter of this year. He also told Channels Television today that 70% of gross domestic product data for the second quarter shows that the economy is tracking 1.95% in the first quarter growth. The Bureau will publish the Federal Allocations Report tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st, and the bigger Nigeria capital importation data on Wednesday the 22nd, despite the public holidays. The second quarter GDP report will be the biggest economic news next week, followed by the road transport report. Let's check out how market fared today. The market has ended the trading session in the green, slightly higher as the share price of Dangote Cement rises further on bargain hunting by investors. Let's hear more from Tosin Adeshi.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The industrial goods sector of the Nigerian Stock Exchange helped push the local equities market to a positive start in the third trading week of August, despite sell-offs from two other key sectors. According to the NSE's website on Monday, the 9 Naira 50 kobo gain from Dangote Cement contributed largely to the 0.21% increase in the main index, while total value of listed equities rose by 28 billion naira. Total volume of shares traded was moderate at over 200 million units in 3,054 transactions amid renewed demand for stocks by investors. The share price of airline services is top on the list of 11 gainers. UAC Properties led 21 other decliners, while UBA, Zenith, and Axis Bank are the highest contributors to the volume of shares sold for the day. That's the Stock Market Report. I'm Tosin Additional.
Well, it's also good news for U.S. and European stock markets. They have ended today's session positive, with investors sharing reports of improved trading relations between Washington and Beijing. Meanwhile, it's mixed close for African and Asian markets. Let's see the numbers for today. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Gemma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, World Football Governing Body FIFA suspends plan to ban Nigeria from all football activities as the country beats the deadline to end the NFF leadership